Okay, before I even say anything about what I'm about to say, again, this is another talk I had with the Father of above. So, yeah. Don't know who asked about it or, people's concern with it, but I'm happy to see people are starting to finally take interest into people's spiritual nature and they ain't just falling for shit. And, okay, so Joshua, which is his Jewish name, came to me and told me to how you say make this video about this situation because a lot of people have been wanting to know about it. So here we go. And oh yeah, in every video he tell me to do, he always says, "Don't bullshit, don't lie, say it exactly how I told you," because this is the stuff they want to know. I'm like, after almost 400 videos, I don't think I bullshit at one time. If you disagree, tell me, but if not, then whatever. Anyway, so there's a lot of people who want to know about a person's spiritual nature. Like, okay, how do I know if this person is spiritually who they claim to be versus the flesh of the person? Like, in other words, is this person one way physically, but spiritually they're a whole nother situation? And his words for me to tell y'all is, if you've been around somebody long enough and you can't tell their humanity, I think it's just you ignoring that person for the fact that you don't want to lose them in your life. But sometimes you need to lose certain people in your life because some motherfuckers just ain't worth keeping around, especially if they ain't helping you come the fuck up. You need to kick them motherfuckers to the curb. Because all they doing is feeding off your goddamn life and not giving you nothing back except a goddamn headache. And I've been there and I've done that from the younger to the older generation, so it don't really matter the age range. Older people, younger, it's the same shit. They're both annoying as fuck. Some are mature, some are fucking annoying. It's really just the mindset that matters. Anyway, but again, his words to you, not me, is on your judgment day, so to speak, or that person's judgment day, that's when you're going to find out who that person really was in your life the whole time. Because to put it to you this way, whoever you think a person is usually who they are. Like, for example, if you get a vibe from someone and you think they're no good, there's a chance they're probably no good. If you get a vibe from someone and you can sense that that person means you well, they probably do. Because the one thing about people in this life is they tend to second guess every goddamn thing. And here's the thing about it. If somebody turns your stomach upside down, and there's a reason why your stomach's a very sensitive part of your body, because here's the thing people don't teach you. Everyone gives off a certain aura or a certain essence or a certain vibe or a chakra or a spirit or whatever you want to call it, and the spiritual essence goes into your third eye or your spiritual nose, mouth, and everything else that the third eye is. And there's a lot of people's essences that go through that third eye and hit your spiritual stomach, and then your spirit will start to tell you through certain parts of your body, this person is not good, leave them the fuck alone, get away from them, they're gonna destroy your life. So if you get that aura that someone ain't shit, leave them alone. You could try your best to give them the benefit of the doubt, but at the end of the day, you're going to look like a dumbass for doing that because your spiritual inside told you this person ain't shit and you gave up so much time trying to deal with them. Now you done pretty much wasted your time trying to help them deal with their shit, and all they were doing secretly was sucking the youth out of you or sucking the life force out of you. But anyway, so when it comes to the whole judgment day situation, for that person or you or whatever, when they get judged, they're gonna go to God as the spiritual the spiritual version of what you couldn't see them as. Like, for example, someone's a beggar, they'll go to God. I don't know if you ever seen Harry Potter, but that character Dobby, the one that wears the little potato sack and looks all miserable and depressed and stressed the fuck out. Anyone that has the spirit of a beggar will go before God looking like Dobby. Basically, that's what the fuck you look like. You look like a homeless waste of time, yeah. Anyone that's a pedophile, you'll go to him the exact same way, in a potato sack. Yeah. That's pretty much like whatever the visual you can assume someone will be spiritually, that's what they're gonna look like. Just imagine a person looking like that spirit, but with their face, but it's so it's either very demonic or really depressed. With the body of whatever the spiritual being is that they're portraying, but their face is them. It just looks very depressed and very demonic. So if you look at somebody and you can really see who they are. Like the thing my grandma taught me a long time ago, because she is really deep into spiritual shit. If you really want to know a person for who they are, stare at their forehead for a long time, and then their real spiritual human nature, you'll be able to see it. Like you have to stare at it for like 5 or 10 seconds, then who they really are will come to you, like whatever spiritual being that they happen to be. Next thing is, when a person goes in front of God as a spiritual being that they are, it's going to shock you that some of the people that you thought actually meant you evil really meant you good. And some of the people that meant you good actually meant to do a lot of fucking harm to you. Like that song, Smiling Faces, they don't tell the truth. Yeah, that shit is very real. A smile is just a frown turned upside down. Yeah, that's very true. Beware of the pat on the back, for it might just hold you back. Yeah. All that shit, very true. Very true. But, yeah, so there's that. But here's the biggest key to this whole situation. And on a person's judgment day, God's going to really ask him, like, so you knew that you were doing evil to this person, but you didn't stop. And that person be like, oh, well, it was part of my spiritual nature to do it to him. I couldn't do nothing about it. And God's like, you could have changed. And that person like, how am I supposed to do that? And he'll simply tell you, just a fact check. You know, a demon was once an angel. Pretty much all dark entities were once spirits of light that chose to be dark, and some are actually choosing to be light again. But since they fell so deep into darkness, they gotta climb up the ladder of life and become light again by trying to serve God's purpose on earth with whatever that may be in their own personal life. Anywho, but yeah, that whole thing about, wanting to know who a person is. Here's a really big thing with humanity that people need to stop doing. If you pray to God and you ask him, or it, because technically it's a spirit, just call him because he calls himself the Father, but he's a spirit, but to each their own, whatever. Anyway, if you pray to God to ask him about somebody's spiritual reality, like, okay, God, okay, now, I'm not sure if this person means me any good, so I'm asking you, show me if this person really means me any good. And then if he shows it to you, and again, it may hurt your feelings to know, because I found out this shit the hard way myself, that is always the closest people to you that mean you the most harm. Now, question to you. If God reveals to you that the people you think cared about you the most was actually the ones trying to tear your life the fuck down, how are you going to feel about that? And are you going to be able to accept that shit with open arms and try to ask that person why they was doing that, or just walk the fuck away? Because 9 times out of 10, if somebody means you harm, they are not going to tell you that. A lot of the time, if a person means you harm, it's because they want to be in the position that you're in, so they're secretly plotting on your demise. And a lot of people got dumb eyes who don't see the shit because they choose not to, because they don't want to be lonely. whether that's a relationship or just a family bond or some shit like that. But anyway, a lot of people's dumb eyes are going to cause their dumb eyes. So, yeah, if God show you something about somebody, it's your choice to, stay the fuck away from that person or keep going around them. But you can't be mad at God if he tries to move that person if you ain't willing to see what's wrong with them, or he keeps that person there just so you can see it. And if you don't see it, then he'll have you keep dealing with the shit until you get to the point that this person ain't who you think they are. But then there's some people who don't give a fuck, and because they want some pussy or some dick, or they want a friend in their life, or they want to stay around certain people in their family, he's going to keep letting them people hurt you until you get to the point that them people ain't shit and they don't mean you no good. But until you get that shit, they're going to keep fucking you over repeatedly until you get it. Been there, done that, no. Trust me, I nigga know from experience. It's likely to happen if you ain't wise. But then again, sometimes it don't make you unwise, especially if you try to keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. But unfortunately, God has ways of showing you when people are about that shit or they're not. How? Like when you want to clear, dirt off your body, you normally get in the damn tub or the shower. When God wants to clear debris off the street, he sends wind. When he wants to clear debris and shit out your life, he sends a storm. And why? Because the storm is the only thing more frightening and powerful enough to get your attention while scaring the fuck out of you. And also scaring the fuck out the people that don't mean shit too good to your life. So, once the storm comes, it might scare you, but the storm is just a way for you to see, okay, I'm scared. Is this person going to help me out until I get through this shit or understand it enough that I can deal with it? That's why it's called a storm, nigga. It's either going to tear you and that person apart or it's going to strengthen your relationship. Let me repeat that again. There's a reason it's called a storm. Because either it's going to make y'all friendship or whatever y'all relationship bond stronger, or it's going to tear you motherfuckers apart. It's going to do one or the other. That's why it's called a storm. It's either going to strengthen y'all or tear y'all the fuck down. It's one or the goddamn other. But yeah, so anyway, that's pretty much the situation. And if you want to know someone for who they really are, even though it might hurt you to find out, ask God to show you, but he can't force you to leave that person alone. Now, he can move people out your life, but he can't stop you from trying to go and find that person. But unfortunately, if you keep seeking the devil, trust me, you will find him, and you will not like what you get at all for nothing. It's just like a long time ago when my cousin asked me, "Oh, cuz, why don't you be out here getting in trouble? Why don't you be in these streets doing too much? Why don't you be out here acting a damn fool?" And I told her, because I don't want to give the devil any reasons to come looking for me, and I meant what the fuck I said. Because here's one thing about this life that people fail to realize, especially with the religious people. They think, oh, when you fuck up, God's going to protect you from that. No, he won't. That's not how free will works. If you piss off karma, he ain't going to stop karma from coming back to your ass. You piss off demons, he's not going to stop demons from fucking with you. You piss off death, he ain't going to stop death from fucking with you. Only time he can stop that shit is when you did nothing to deserve it, unless it's a trial. But yeah, anyway, it's like if you piss off death, you piss off karma, you piss off demons, and numero uno, if you piss off the devil, best believe God ain't about to stop him from coming after your ass. It's just not gonna happen. But anyway, yeah, so getting back to the Judgment Day thing real quick. Anyway, so when you go to get judged, or whoever you know does, it might shock you when you see them as the spiritual person that they are versus the physical. And why there's a distinction or a difference? Because God puts the spirit in the flesh so he can test your eyesight and see, okay, you've been around this person long enough. Are you finally able to tell that they ain't shit? Even if I keep showing you, can you finally tell without me showing you that they ain't shit? Then, once you finally get to judgment day and then you see the person for who they really are, how you gonna feel about that? Because it may hurt your feelings a little bit to know that the person that you thought gave a fuck really don't. And the person you thought that really didn't give a fuck actually does. And then a little bit of a hard string to pull. Sometimes there be people going through a lot of shit in their personal life, so they may act like they don't care, but it's just because they're stressed the fuck out about their own shit. Plus, they ain't trying to add no more stress to you. That's probably why they ain't trying to talk to you too much about the shit you're going through, because they don't want to keep fucking with your head. But like I said, you'd be surprised to know the people that actually give a fuck are the ones that really be doing you the most dirt, but they're trying to make you stronger. So once you get through life, you understand, oh, this is why this shit happened. But like I said, as the church song goes, you'll understand it better by and by. You'll get it. But the one thing down here, this earth is a test. That's why, shit is made of matter and space and time and all that shit. And as the Father would put it, I gave human beings space and time so they know that they matter to me so they can get their shit together. Because I had asked him, what is all this space, time, and matter shit about? He's like, well, when my creation wanted free will, I gave you space so you could have it. I gave you time so you can deal with it. And to let you know you matter, I put you somewhere where you can run things yourself. So basically, you're made of space, time, and matter. That's why he gave humans space from his throne, time to get shit right, to let you know that you matter. That's why there's space above you, time around you, and you're made of matter. Just thought I'd drop that bomb real quick. Yeah. Those were his words. That was his joke to me about life. But anyway, yeah. So, anything else I need to add to this video before I end it? I don't know if this really matters to anybody, but again, just mentioning it, for anyone that was taught that God is this spirit that sits on the clouds and he's an old dude that watches people, no. God is in a whole nother dimension, realm, portal, universe, eternity. And the only way you can actually see him is you'd have to pass away. And here's why I say it again, because in the flesh you have what's called free will, so you have to be able to freely do what you want and, have the ability to think that is your own decision. And when you come out of the flesh, that's when free will no longer applies to you. So it's either you're evil or you're good. But by the time you come out the flesh, now you can see the truth of everything for what it really is. And oh yeah, that's another thing. But to finish what I'm saying, you can see the truth of things for what they really are, and then you finally get to see God and the devil, angels, demons, people that passed away, heaven, hell, eternity. So because now you don't got free will on your side, now you get to see the truth for what it is, whether you choose to run from it or you don't, which you can't, because eternity you can't run from. Like Eddie Griffin would say, everywhere you go there, y'all, you can't run from yourself. Anyway, so, yeah. And then that's the other part. Spirits are made of what's called matter, or energy. The universe is comprised of spirits, matter, and energy. So dark matter, like light, is all the same thing. It's like if you turn a light bulb on, that's light energy. You turn it off, that's dark energy. A human spirit. Somebody who was born from heaven could have a spirit of light, but you keep them in too much evil, that light matter could turn dark. It's basically just an open eye, closed eye situation. Some people got open eyes who don't give a fuck about nothing they see. Some people can't see shit and care about everything. So, yeah. But anywho, all right, yeah, peace.